A deadly earthquake ripped through eastern Afghanistan, rescue teams racing against time as aftershocks continue to shake the shattered towns. Yet, women trapped in both rubble and Taliban's laws are in a way being left to die as the death toll climbs past 2,200 and over 3,640 people are injured. Take a look.
The ground shook. A powerful magnitude 6.2 quake struck deep in the Hindu Kush, rippling villages to pieces. The air is thick with fear as survivors relieve the quake that struck the villages, describing panic, darkness, and heart-stopping tremors that refuse to let up.
Dust filled the air. Everything went dark, and I could not understand what was happening. I rushed toward the door to open it, but I couldn't because it was stuck due to the earthquake. I found the way to see my family, and I saw a room was collapsed and they were buried under it.
My brother is dead. My sister-in-law is dead. 2 of my nephews are dead. I have lost all of my family. I am the only one left. My old father and my little niece who is sick, and I sent her to Nangarhar for treatment.
Then came the aftershocks. Relentless jolts of 5.2 and 5.4 magnitude that shattered fragile hope and triggered fresh landslides. Terrified survivors huddle under broken walls, watching the sky near inaccessible ravines.
The danger of rockfalls, water flowing down from the mountains, and earthquakes, along with fear of God, has left us shocked and distressed. We experience 8 to 10 earthquakes a day, occurring every 10 to 15 minutes.
Through the chaos come stories of desperate searches. Men clawing through debris by hand. Emergency crews trekking miles through mountain passes. But for Afghan women, a darker truth lurks in the ruins. Taliban law enforces a brutal rule. No man is allowed to touch an unrelated woman. That rule, which may seem archaic to most of us in the outside world, is perhaps a diktat which cannot be broken even in such desperate times.
The danger of rockfalls, water flowing down from the mountains, and earthquakes, along with fear of God, has left us shocked and distressed. We experience 8 to 10 earthquakes a day, occurring every 10 to 15 minutes.
In empty streets and mountain villages, aid is running out. India and Russia are among the nations which have rushed critical supplies including tents, medicines and other items. The UN and world agencies warn of surging need. Food, shelter, medical care, hospitals overflow, tents sprout in ruined squares. But for many women, rules and rubble have become a deadly prison. The true toll may rise for days as invisible casualties remain unreached. Their voices lost in a system that does not see them. Bureau Report, WION The World.
The upcoming US jobs report has become more than just an economic update. It is now a political flashpoint. President Trump's decision to fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, raising concerns about the independence of the government statistics in a way. Economists are warning that undermining confidence in this data could have long-lasting consequences, given that it is closely watched by businesses, investors, global policymakers. Analysts saying the bigger story here is the clear loss of momentum in the labor market. Hiring has slowed, job openings have dipped, workers are finding it harder to secure positions. Goldman Sachs expects that August report will confirm this softer trend, pointing to seasonal challenges that often make August numbers appear weaker. Other economists stressing that while the slowdown is not a collapse, it marks a turning point in how resilient the US job market really looks heading into the end of the year. The jobs report is also critical for the Federal Reserve. With inflation cooling and hiring softening, the central bank is widely expected to shift its focus from price stability to job creation. A disappointing August report would likely reinforce expectations of a rate cut later this month. For workers, businesses and policymakers alike, the data could shape how the economy navigates the crucial holiday season and the months ahead. A deadly and all too familiar shadow has fallen over Central Africa. In fact, the Democratic Republic of Congo has declared a new outbreak of Ebola, with at least 15 people already dead. In a country pushed to its limits by conflict, health teams are now in a desperate race to contain one of the world's most feared diseases. Ebola is a fever born from a virus. It is transmitted to humans from animals. Fever, muscle pain, vomiting, diarrhea. A cruel progression leads to internal bleeding, organ failure. It spreads through blood and bodily fluids, not by air. Patients remain infectious once symptoms appear. In fact, making rapid isolation vital. For the DRC, in fact, this is alarmingly familiar terrain. Ebola has struck repeatedly, 15 outbreaks since the year 1976. Violence, poverty, mistrust, making containment brutal and difficult. Health workers facing danger, local communities resisting, supplies running short. This fragile system fraying under each crisis. Global responders, meanwhile, have mobilized. The World Health Organization is deploying experts, testing labs, PPE, treatments, and the vaccine to stem the tide. Community outreach and surveillance are ramping up. As Congo fights on, the virus knows few limits, threatening lives and draining hope and raising fears of yet another catastrophic spread, possibly. And more on this, our correspondent getting us this report.
Through a 34-year-old pregnant woman detected a few weeks ago, DRC is once again faced with the Ebola surge, as about 28 suspected cases with over a dozen deaths recorded so far, including health workers. Thankfully, lab tests have confirmed the Zaire strain of the Ebola virus, a highly deadly but vaccine-preventable variant. But the challenge now is deploying logistics to get vaccines to every corner. Now, authorities say the WHO teams are already supporting the response, deploying experts and medical supplies needed to protect health workers and care for patients. This is the first Ebola outbreak in the DRC since 2022, when a smaller outbreak in Equator province was contained in under 3 months. Health officials are leaning on the country's extensive experience with Ebola, but with transmission ongoing, case numbers are expected to rise. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olani, WION, World is One.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.